Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday. What kind of traditions did you grow up in that around the offering in church on Sunday morning during worship or whenever? Uh, I remember in my own church, sort of traditionally, the ushers passed a plate down the aisle and people put their money in as it passed. Our church was on a farm community, and so we had a harvest festival every year, and that was when people brought most of their gifts for the church. And then the church really depended on a good harvest. And I remember one year when there wasn't a good harvest, and my parents sitting around going, well, we better give more. They didn't have a good harvest either, but they said, maybe we better give more because I know a lot of people won't be able to. My family took stewardship really, really seriously and joyfully. But despite the fact that offering was collected once a year at the Harvest Festival, we still took an offering every week, and my parents always made a point of putting something in the offering every week because it was an act of worship. And I remember being so excited when I was old enough to put my own money in the offering plate. That was something that we were taught to do. Church offering plates have changed, obviously, because many gifts are now given online, or people will give gifts of stock or out of their IRA, great ways to give money. So there's a number of people just sit there as the plate is passed, and it's instead of an inspiring moment, a moment of joy as you hand the plate, you can know to yourself that, I've already given, but still sort of feel, is anybody watching that I didn't put anything in? So we had this great idea. Wally had a great idea from a church, and David Rickert put it together as a little laminated card. It's in the pledge, or in the pew rack. It says, "Out of gratitude for what God has given me, I find joy in supporting this church and its ministries." I love that. I find joy through direct donations, electronic giving, disbursements from my IRA, or gifts of stock. And I place this card in the offering plate as a way to participate in this important part of our service. So that's one way to do an offering. If you've ever been to a black church, there are different ways there. I remember the first time I saw the plate passed multiple times. This offering is for this, and then come around again. This offering is for this. You're always supposed to keep back a little bit because you never knew there was going to be another offering. Peter Gomes wrote about being a kid in church and observing the offering. The plate was not passed in the pews, he said, but instead people would bring their gifts forward to the front of the church. And I've seen this where, first of all, the tithers are invited to go forward. So everybody knew who was a tither, which in my mind was incredibly risky. And then others may have gone forward, and then they passed buckets around. But he said in his church, there would be a dollar goal every Sunday, and the stewards would count the money as it was coming forward. And if the goal was not met on the first go-round, the choir would continue singing, and the congregation was asked to pass the plate again until the goal was reached. It was high theater for a child, Gomes writes, with the whole congregation on view and in motion, the murmuring of the stewards as they counted, the restless, relentless rhythm of the singing, and the anxious moments while awaiting the result. Well, this Sunday is our Commitment Sunday here at Mission Hills, and we will come forward, all of us, regardless of what we're giving or intending, and not during I guess after the service, they're planning to count the pledge totals and announce at the Thanksgiving feast. That'll be an interesting thing to hear. I mean, that's a big goal. We're looking for pledges of over $400,000 this coming year. That's a significant increase. Giving is one of these things that is so wrapped up, because money is such a touchy subject. Giving is wrapped up in all these, it almost feels like minefields in a church, because you don't want to upset anybody. And yet behind it is this most joyful act, this recognition that all comes from God, this ability to give, and the joy of giving and creating with our gifts, creating the experience of this community, of our communities, of worship and outreach and kids and youth and music and the whole package, how much joy could we possibly stand than is what is possible when we give? So, this Sunday, I hope that you will have the opportunity. I hope that you will take the opportunity to think about what will bring me joy. What's enough? That's a sad kind of way. What's enough? But what would bring me joy in giving? And with that, I hope we all have a grateful day. Bye.